Back here on CBS Sports HQ, our FFT guys are busy. And it's partly because all of us at CBS Sports HQ keep bugging them like, hey, Dave, hey, Jamey, should I take Dalton Kincaid or James Conner? That was me yesterday, quite literally. They're giving out advice left and right, and fantasy drafts, of course, are going on. Maybe you have one this week. Today, we are talking fantasy football breakout stars. We're going to go through every position, who is primed for a breakout year. Maybe it's a sleeper, someone not expecting to have a breakout year, and we're going to go through it with the experts. All right, speaking of experts, we have Dave Richard and Jamey Eisenberg here. We're going to go down the list, and of course, we have to start at the quarterback position. And here, Jamey, you have Jaden Daniels, which somebody who has drafted Jaden Daniels in one of my drafts, not the one we were just talking about in the break, a different one. I did take Jaden Daniels, and I kind of got some shade from other people in my league about it, like, oh, he's a rookie, a lot of what ifs, and I'm like, you guys are not locked in to Jamey and Dave. So, Jamey, he is your breakout candidate at the quarterback position. Tell us why you like him.
I think, by the end of the year, Jacqueline, you can just show him the trophy and say, this is why I won, was because of Jaden Daniels. And he's going to help a lot of fantasy managers win championships this year because of what he's going to do with his legs. Look, he's going to be I think, underrated passer. I think he'll surprise some people. We saw it in the preseason with the downfield throw he had to Jamey Brown in the preseason opener. But obviously the appeal for fantasy managers is what he will do with his running. And he's a 1,100-yard rusher from LSU last year in 12 games. And I think he might set the rookie record for rushing yards, set the record for quarterback rushing yards in his rookie campaign. I think he's got that much upside and that much rushing ability. We've seen Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator there for the Commanders, do a great job with Kyler Murray in his early years as a dual-threat quarterback. Great for fantasy managers when he was a rookie in Arizona. And I think Daniels is going to be fantastic. So he has not the best receiving core. Obviously, we're talking about rookie quarterbacks. Caleb Williams in a better spot. But I love Jaden Daniels. Top 10 quarterback for me. And the nice thing about it is if you do struggle with taking Jaden Daniels, you can take a second quarterback that can still help you get by until Daniel shows that he's ready to go.
So the first thing I want to do is emphasize that when I think about a breakout player, I think about a player that could have a career year, maybe breakthrough is the term that I use. And I like Anthony Richardson, and that's the low-hanging fruit at the quarterback position to go with Anthony Richardson. But it's for a lot of the same reasons that Jamey talked about with Jaden Daniels. That rushing upside in his 2 full games last year, one of them was 22 PPR points, or PPR, it doesn't matter, it's a quarterback. 22 fantasy points, the other one was 33. Take the average of that, you've got a huge number. If he can somehow keep that pace and keep scoring those rushing touchdowns, you're going to be happy. And I know that his arm did not look good in the preseason. I think that he will be schemed up a little bit more than what we saw in the preseason. He's got a capable receiving core and a good offensive line. I think that Anthony Richardson is worth being a top 6 fantasy quarterback, and I'm okay with him in round 5, and maybe even early round 5 if it's a 4-point for passing touchdown league. He's got that type of upside to be an absolute gem in fantasy.
So if he drops to like a round 6 or a 7, is that an absolute steal?
That's a steal. That's the type of quarterback pick I'm looking for, Jacqueline. I want to steal my quarterback in the draft. And so if he's there in round 6 and I don't have a QB yet, that's the guy I'm taking.
Haley is giving me a thumbs down from the corner. I think she actually has a pick before me, so I'm hoping I'm not showing my cards.
You're first.
I am first.
Me.
Oh, okay, good.
So you can get your hands on it, but you can get Jaden Daniels a little bit later on. And they both are going to be in line for anywhere from 800 to 1,200 rushing yards.
Okay, perfect. That's what this segment's all about. We're just like sneaking in our own questions.
We're just here to help them in their fantasy league.
All right,
you guys are just eavesdropping.
Let's go to the running backs because, Jamey, you have Ken Walker, who is, of course, going to be sharing responsibilities with Charbonnet there. But why is Ken Walker your running back there that is going to have a breakout season, in your opinion?
Well, we'll see how much he's going to be sharing with Charbonnet because he's banged up right now, dealing with some undisclosed injury. Hopefully he'll be ready to go week 1 because he's become an unbelievable value. I just like the offense in Seattle in general. We're going to see more plays from Ryan Grubb's offense. We're going to see a faster pace offense. And that's going to, I think, allow Walker to be involved a little bit more, hopefully in the passing game. That's kind of been the knock on him each of the first 2 seasons of his career. They haven't thrown the ball to him very much. But I think that's what we'll see the biggest change for what the running backs will do. And all you've heard all offseason is just praise upon praise upon praise for Walker. And again, it's not that Charbonnet won't have a role when he's healthy. He will. But if Walker does just a little bit more and can get north of 30, maybe 40 catches, he's got a chance for double digits and touchdowns. And he could be in the conversation to be one of the NFL's leading rushers. He's just got so much upside and so much ability that's been a little bit capped over the last couple years. Hopefully he stays healthy. He's missed 2 games each of the first 2 years of his career. But if he does stay healthy, I think the offensive line will be better in Seattle. Offense in general as a whole should be better in Seattle. And I think he's worth taking early in round 3. I love the setup for Ken Walker. Top 10 running back for me this year.
And one of the running backs that I'm taking ahead of Ken Walker is Isaiah Pacheco in Kansas City. And I know that they just added Samaje Perine, and I don't care one bit. I really don't, because we've seen it now. Last year, 15 games, including the playoffs, with at least 15 touches for Isaiah Pacheco, over 15 PPR points in 10 of the 15 games. And that was including games last year where he really wasn't trusted with every single snap anyway. You think about this offense now in Kansas City and all the speed that they added this offseason. It's going to make safeties play back. It's going to open up the box to only 7 defenders, maybe less than that. They will run a little bit more, and he will be more efficient with it, and he's still going to be an option when they get near the goal line. Career year coming for Isaiah Pacheco. I like him as a top 20 pick.
Ooh, all right. Let's go to wide receivers, because we're talking Garrett Wilson for you, Dave. And this is somebody that I think I snagged in late first round. Is that the correct spot to get him based off of, the projection that he's going to have a breakout year?
In my opinion, yes, because I think that we've already seen how the Jets feel about him. As a rookie, he averaged 8.6 targets per game. Last year, 9.9 targets per game. We all know that the quarterbacks that he's been dealing with over the first 2 years of his career have been dreadful. And now it's Aaron Rodgers, and we can be worried about Aaron Rodgers staying healthy.
Sure.
They did the right thing, and they got Tyrod Taylor to back him up, and Tyrod Taylor's no better than, above average NFL quarterback just in general. But even he will have the sense to throw to Garrett Wilson, and he's a better passer than what Garrett Wilson's dealt with over the last 2 seasons. More importantly, the Jets improved their offensive line, so those quarterbacks are going to be protected as long as they don't take on too many injuries. And I still think they're going to be a team that throws a good amount, and Garrett Wilson's already being funneled these targets to begin with. So another career year on tap, and it wouldn't surprise me if he finished top 5. He joined that group of elite wide receivers, and we're already drafting him that way, but I think he could be a top 5 fantasy receiver for sure. You're drafting him late round 1. Our ADP is actually 16th overall, which means some people are getting him in round 2.
That's crazy.
Pretty good value if you can make it happen in your league.
So we've spent a lot of time this offseason talking about a lot of the similar breakout wide receivers. Wilson's among them, Drake London, Chris Olave, a lot of guys in their 3rd year. You got to go a little bit deeper when you're talking about some of these guys that have a chance, as Dave alluded to earlier, to have career seasons. So Josh Palmer, who's a very popular sleeper for a lot of people, I think belongs in the breakout category. I think we're going to see him have his best year to date because he should be the #1 receiver for the Chargers. You look at Ladd McConkey, rookie's going to take some time to develop, and we know this isn't going to be the same pass-happy Chargers offense that we've seen the last couple of years where they're averaging over 670 passes per game or per season. I don't think we're going to see that happen. But they do lose 300 targets from what they had last year with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. All those guys are gone. And this is Palmer's opportunity to step forward and prove that he could be the go-to guy for Justin Herbert that we've seen in spurts over the last couple of seasons. But basically when Mike Williams got hurt last year, he was right around 13 PPR points per game. I think that's kind of where he'll live, which where you're getting him right now after pick 100 is absolutely fantastic. So this is going to be a great year for Josh Palmer. He's basically a top 40 receiver already in my rankings. Could be a top 36 receiver by the time we get to the end of the weekend. Love the setup for him. Again, I think this is going to be a career year for him, one of my favorite breakout candidates.
And it doesn't even matter. You can call he's my favorite sleeper of the year, Jamey. I don't care if we call him sleeper, breakout, whatever. Just get him on your team in that round 8-9 range. I think he's absolutely going to be worth it.
Okay, making a mental note here for that. Let's go to tight ends, because for a while it felt like in fantasy it was like Travis Kelce, a huge gap, and everybody else. And within the last, season or two, it feels like we have some options. Jake Ferguson, that is your tight end to have a breakout year, correct?
Sure, but he's not anywhere close to where that gap has shrunk with Kelce and all those other tight ends, and he's not even the best breakout tight end. Okay. But I think that Jake Ferguson could have a better year than what he had last year, and he was top 2 in the league in terms of red zone targets, and that includes wide receivers. He was absolutely a threat down there, and I think he gets more of that this year. The #2 target in Dallas. Cowboys are going to throw the ball a lot this year, just like they did last year. Their run game got worse, and Dak Prescott has this great track record of leaning on his tight end, especially near the goal line. Ferguson is the tight end that I gravitate toward when I whiff on the first 5 or 6 tight ends in my draft.
Jacqueline, please tell me you took Dalton Kincaid over James Conner.
I did.
That you didn't take that old slug of a running back and you took a tight end who's about to break out and have a big season.
I did.
I really hope
took
that's
your
the move
advice.
that you made.
I did take Kincaid, but then I took Connor literally 2 picks later. So I
Which
don't.
You should have done. That was the right move.
I mean, I needed a running back. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I felt like he was the best option available, and I was switching it between your ranks, and he was still like the best running back that was available. So that's what I did.
All right. So 1 out of 2 good picks is not bad. I like the Kincaid pick. I don't like James Conner in round 6, but I think you're looking at a tight end here who's got a chance for immense upside. You know, we have a top 4 that I think everybody's going to draft. When you look at Laporta and Kelsey and McBride and Andrews, there should be a top 5. Kincaid could lead the Bills in targets, and we know, again, this is a team that lost 240 targets from a year ago with Stephon Diggs gone, with Gabe Davis gone. And really we saw Kincaid step up when there was somebody missing. Mostly it was Dawson Knox, the other tight end for Buffalo. But at the end of the season, when Gabe Davis was missing time from week 18 on, he was among the target leaders for Josh Allen. And this offense is getting retooled. Joe Brady's going to have a full offseason to work with them. And Kincaid, while we haven't seen anything in the preseason, there's going to be a lot of opportunities in the regular season for him to potentially dominate targets and hopefully prove that he was worth the selection that the Bills made for him last year and that fantasy managers are going to make this year. So top 5 tight end with the chance to be number 1 at the position. Round 5 is an easy time to take Dalton Kincaid.
Wow, I feel so validated.
You should. It was a great pick.
Yeah, and I did some deep research. I was like canvassing everybody, mainly these 2 gentlemen, and they helped me along the way.
There's nothing wrong with taking a tight end who could be first on his team in targets.
Sure.
And that's on the table for Kincaid. It's a great call by Jamey.
All right, Jamey Eisenberg, Dave Richard, we certainly appreciate it. And you can hear more from the guys on Fantasy Football Today. Each week, they're walking you through sits, starts, everything you need to know. You can download, follow, listen wherever you get your pods, or scan that QR code on your screen.